What if the strongest person in the room is not the one who can defeat others, but the one who has finally learned how to control himself? Think about it. People can criticize you, they can reject you, they can betray you, misunderstand you, ignore you, or try to provoke you. But none of these things have the power to destroy your peace unless you give them that power. The real battle of life is not outside you. It is within you. There comes a moment when you realize that you cannot control what people say, how they behave, or what they choose to do to you. But you can control your response. You can control your attention. You can control your discipline. And when you master that inner world, something changes. The same words that once wounded you become lessons. The same rejection that once broke you becomes direction. The same betrayal that once consumed your mind becomes a reminder to choose yourself wisely. This is the beginning of true strength. A Shaolin warrior does not become powerful because life becomes easier. He becomes powerful because his mind becomes stronger than the difficulties around him. He learns to remain calm when others lose control. He learns to remain silent when his ego wants to argue. He learns to walk away when proving himself is no longer necessary. And this is what you must understand. You do not need to become cold to become strong. You do not need to stop caring. You need to stop allowing everything outside you to control what happens inside you. When you master your mind, you become difficult to manipulate. When you master your emotions, you become difficult to provoke. When you master your discipline, you become difficult to defeat. So today, do not listen to this message simply as motivation. Listen to it as a challenge. Ask yourself, how much of my peace am I giving away to other people? How many times have I allowed someone else's opinion to determine my confidence? How often have I reacted immediately instead of responding with wisdom? Because the person who can hurt you the most is often not the person standing in front of you. It is the part of you that still needs their approval. Master that part of yourself, and you will discover a strength that no insult can take, no rejection can destroy, and no person can control. The goal is not to become untouchable. The goal is to become unshakable. The moment you understand that your peace is your responsibility, your entire life begins to change. Many people spend years believing that other people are the reason they are unhappy. Someone said something disrespectful. Someone betrayed them. Someone rejected them. Someone ignored them. Someone failed to appreciate them. And suddenly their entire day, their confidence, and even their sense of worth depends on another person's behavior. But there is a deeper truth you must learn. People may influence your emotions, but you decide how long those emotions remain in control. Imagine someone says something cruel to you. The words enter your ears, but they do not have to enter your identity. Someone can call you weak, unsuccessful, foolish, or worthless, but their opinion does not become your reality simply because they spoke it. You must learn to create a space between what happens and how you respond. In that space, there is your power. A disciplined mind does not react to every sound it hears. It observes. It becomes still. It asks, is this worth my energy? Is there something I can learn from this? Does this person's opinion actually define me? These questions can save you from countless unnecessary battles. When someone provokes you and you immediately explode, they have controlled you. When someone ignores you and you spend the entire night wondering why, they have controlled your attention. When someone criticizes you and you suddenly doubt your entire worth, they have controlled your confidence. But when you can hear the same words, feel the same emotion, and still choose your response, you begin to become free. This does not mean becoming emotionless. Strength is not the absence of emotion. Strength is the ability to experience emotion without allowing it to make every decision for you. You can be angry and still remain respectful. You can be hurt and still remain composed. You can be disappointed and still continue moving forward. You can love someone and still understand that they are not entitled to destroy your peace. Your mind is like a garden. If you do not decide what belongs there, other people will plant things for you. Their judgments become your doubts. Their anger becomes your anger. Their fear becomes your fear. Their limitations become the boundaries of your life. You must become the guardian of your own mind. Every day, practice pausing before reacting. When someone pushes your buttons, do not immediately give them the satisfaction of your reaction. Breathe, become still, look at the situation from a distance. Sometimes silence is not weakness, silence is evidence that you are no longer controlled by your impulses. And remember this, you do not need to win every argument. You do not need to explain yourself to everyone. You do not need to prove your worth to people who have already decided not to see it. Your life becomes lighter when you stop trying to control how everyone perceives you. The strongest person is not the one who can make others afraid. The strongest person is the one who can stand in the middle of chaos and remain centered. When the world becomes loud, he becomes quiet. When others react, he observes. When others lose themselves in anger, he remembers who he is. Master your mind, because once you stop handing your peace to other people, they lose the power to take it away. Your emotions are powerful, but they were never meant to become your master. Anger can tell you that something matters. Fear can warn you to be careful. Sadness can show you that you have lost something meaningful. Disappointment can reveal that your expectations were not met. Emotions are not your enemy. The danger begins when you allow a temporary emotion to make a permanent decision. Think about how many mistakes people make when they are angry. They say words they cannot take back. They destroy relationships they spent years building. They make decisions based on a few minutes of frustration and then spend months regretting them. The emotion was temporary, but the consequence became permanent. This is why emotional mastery is one of the greatest forms of strength. When someone hurts you, your first instinct may be to hurt them back. When someone disrespects you, your ego may demand that you prove your strength. When someone leaves you, your mind may tell you that you are not enough. But you must learn to pause before believing every thought that appears in your mind. You can feel anger without becoming anger. You can feel sadness without allowing sadness to define your identity. You can feel fear without allowing fear to decide your future. There is a difference between experiencing an emotion and surrendering your control to it. Imagine standing beside a river and watching the water flow. You do not have to jump into every current. In the same way, you do not have to follow every emotion that passes through your mind. Observe it, understand it, let it move through you. This requires practice. When you feel yourself becoming angry, slow down your breathing. Do not immediately respond to the message. Do not immediately make the phone call. Do not immediately send the words that you may regret tomorrow. Give yourself time. Sometimes a few moments of silence can protect you from years of regret. Emotional strength also means learning not to take everything personally. People often speak from their own wounds, insecurities, frustrations, and limitations. Someone's harsh behavior may reveal more about their inner condition than it does about your value. This does not mean accepting disrespect or allowing people to mistreat you. It means refusing to carry someone else's emotional chaos inside your own heart. You must also understand that suppressing emotions is not the same as mastering them. If you constantly pretend that nothing hurts, the pain does not disappear. It simply moves deeper. True strength allows you to acknowledge what you feel without becoming trapped inside it. Now, you can say, yes, this hurt me. You can admit, I am angry. You can recognize, I am disappointed. And then you can choose what to do next. The goal is not to become a person who never cries, never feels anger, and never becomes afraid. The goal is to become someone who can experience all of these things and still remain faithful to his values. There will always be people who test your patience. There will always be situations you cannot control. There will always be moments when life does not give you what you expected. But every difficult moment is also an opportunity to train your inner strength. The next time someone tries to provoke you, remember, they may have created the situation, but you still control your response. Do not give someone else the remote control to your emotions. Your peace is too valuable to be placed in another person's hands. When you master your emotions, you do not become less human. You become more conscious. You stop reacting blindly and start responding with wisdom. And that is when your emotional world stops being a battlefield and becomes a source of strength. There will be days when you feel powerful, motivated, and ready to change your life. You will wake up with energy and promise yourself that everything will be different from today. But then there will be other days when you do not feel like getting out of bed, when your mind tells you to postpone the work, when comfort feels easier than growth. This is where discipline begins, not when you feel motivated, but when motivation disappears and you still choose to move forward. Most people are waiting for the perfect feeling before they take action. They say, "When I feel motivated, I will start." But motivation is unstable. It rises and falls like the weather. If your progress depends on motivation, your progress will always be inconsistent. Discipline gives you something stronger. It teaches you to act according to your decision rather than according to your mood. Think about the promises you make to yourself. You say you will wake up earlier, you will exercise, you will study, you will build your business, you will stop wasting hours on things that do not improve your life. You will become more patient. But every time you make a promise to yourself and break it without a reason, something inside you becomes weaker. And every time you keep a difficult promise, even when nobody is watching, your confidence becomes stronger. This is why discipline is not punishment. Discipline is self-respect in action. You do not need to transform your entire life in one day. Begin with small victories. Wake up when you said you would. Finish the task you promised yourself you would complete. Put the phone away when it is distracting you. Train your body even when your mind wants comfort. Spend a few minutes in silence when you would normally react. These small decisions may look insignificant, but they are building something much bigger. Trust in yourself. A person who trusts himself does not need constant approval from others. He knows that he can depend on himself when life becomes difficult, that inner confidence cannot be purchased, borrowed, or given to you by another person. It is earned through repeated action. There will be moments when you fail. You may lose your routine. You may become distracted. You may fall back into old habits. Do not use one bad day as an excuse to abandon the entire journey. Discipline does not mean perfection. It means returning to the path every time you leave it. Your weakest moments are not interruptions to your growth. They are opportunities to train it. Anyone can remain disciplined when everything is easy. The real test comes when you are tired, frustrated, disappointed, or alone. That is when you discover whether your commitment was real or simply emotional excitement. Remember, nobody can build your discipline for you. Other people can encourage you, teach you, or inspire you, but ultimately you must make the decision. You must choose between immediate comfort and long-term strength. Every time you choose the harder but healthier path, you are teaching your mind that you are in control. Every time you resist an unnecessary impulse, you become stronger. Every time you do what needs to be done instead of what feels easy, you move closer to becoming the person you said you wanted to become. Do not ask yourself every morning, "Do I feel like doing this?" Ask a better question, "What did I promise myself?" Then honor that promise. Because when you master discipline, you stop being controlled by temporary moods. You become capable of continuing when motivation disappears, standing when life pushes you down, and moving forward when nobody is there to encourage you. Your greatest strength is built in the moments when you could quit, but you choose not to. There is a kind of strength that most people do not understand. It is the strength to walk away without hatred, to remain silent without needing the last word, and to let go without spending the rest of your life trying to make someone regret losing you. Many people believe strength means fighting every battle, answering every insult, proving every point, and making sure everyone understands their side of the story. But sometimes the greatest victory is knowing that you no longer need to participate. Detachment does not mean that you stop caring. It means that you stop allowing what you cannot control to control you. You can love someone and still accept that they may not belong in your life. You can forgive someone and still maintain distance. You can care about what people think and still refuse to let their opinions determine your worth. Think about how much energy is wasted trying to change people. You explain yourself again and again. You try to convince someone to understand you. You wait for an apology. You replay an argument in your mind, imagining what you should have said. You check whether someone has noticed your absence. You hope they will eventually recognize your value. But ask yourself, how much of your life are you giving away while waiting for someone else to change? Sometimes you must accept that closure will not come from another person. You may never receive the apology you deserve. You may never hear the explanation you wanted. Someone may never understand how deeply they hurt you. If your peace depends on receiving those things, you have placed your healing in someone else's hands. Take it back. You do not need permission to move forward. There comes a moment when you must stop asking, "Why did they do this to me?" and begin asking, "What will I do with my life now?" That question changes everything. It moves your attention away from the person who hurt you and brings it back to the person you can still become. Walking away is not always physical. Sometimes you walk away mentally. You stop replaying the conversation. You stop checking their life. You stop seeking revenge. You stop imagining how you could make them jealous. You stop trying to prove that you are doing better. You simply become better. Real detachment means you no longer need to destroy someone who disappointed you. You simply refuse to let their behavior destroy you. This requires tremendous self-control because the ego wants justice. The ego wants the other person to suffer so that your pain feels justified. But revenge keeps you connected to the very person you are trying to escape. Every time you think about how to hurt them, you are still giving them space inside your mind. Freedom begins when you stop carrying them with you. Let people misunderstand you if they choose to. Let them create their own version of your story. Let them leave if they want to leave. Not everyone will recognize your heart, and not everyone is meant to walk beside you forever. Your responsibility is not to keep every person. Your responsibility is to keep your character, your peace, your discipline, and your direction. Sometimes silence is the answer. Sometimes distance is the answer. Sometimes closing a door is the answer. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply continue your journey without looking back. Do not walk away because you are weak. Walk away because your energy has become too valuable to waste. When you master detachment, you stop chasing what is leaving and start protecting what remains. You stop begging for attention and start giving attention to your purpose. You stop fighting for a place in someone's life and start building a life where you no longer need to beg to belong. And one day, you will realize that the person who once had the power to disturb your entire day is now only a lesson from your past. Not because they changed, but because you did. What if the greatest protection you can build is not around your body, but inside your mind? You have learned that true strength begins when you stop giving other people control over your peace. Master your mind, master your emotions, master your discipline, master the ability to let go. Because when you develop control over yourself, the world becomes less capable of controlling you. People may still disappoint you. Some may leave. Some may misunderstand you. Some may try to provoke you. Life will still bring pain, rejection, failure, and unexpected storms. But you no longer have to become a prisoner of every storm that enters your life. Remember this, you cannot control every situation, but you can train yourself to control your response. The person who controls your emotions controls your attention. The person who controls your attention controls your actions. And the person who controls his actions begins to control the direction of his life. So stop chasing revenge. Stop begging for approval. Stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Stop allowing temporary emotions to make permanent decisions. Become calm, become disciplined, become aware, become difficult to manipulate. Not because you have become cold, but because you have finally learned your own value. And if someone walks away from your life, let them walk. If someone rejects you, let them reject you. If someone underestimates you, let them underestimate you. You do not need to convince everyone of your strength. Build it so deeply that you no longer need to prove it. The world does not need another person who reacts to everything. It needs people who can remain peaceful in chaos. disciplined in comfort, and strong in adversity. So the next time life tries to break your peace, pause before you react. Breathe, observe, remember who you are, and choose your response. Because the goal was never to become someone nobody can hurt. The goal is to become someone who cannot be easily controlled, destroyed, or pulled away from his purpose. That is the real meaning of inner strength. And if this message spoke to something inside you, don't let it end here. Take one lesson from today and practice it in your life. Your transformation will not come from listening once. It will come from applying what you have learned every single day. If you found value in this message, support the channel by liking this video, subscribing, and sharing it with someone who needs to hear it today. Thank you for spending these moments with us. Thank you for being part of this journey of discipline, strength, wisdom, and self-mastery. Until the next video, stay calm, stay disciplined, protect your peace, and keep becoming stronger from within. Your mind is your temple, your discipline is your weapon, your peace is your power. And once you master yourself, the world loses much of its power over you.